So when I came home and I gave the tomatoes to my wife, I knew that was going to take care of us for the whole month. And I checked, and I still saw some tomatoes there.
But when you come to Acquah, it's not.
So when I was coming this time around, I decided to check again. The 50 cedis tomato that I bought had increased. But I thought it was a season for tomatoes. Pardon me, but that's what I thought. So, because when I got it, it was very affordable. But I realized that wasn't the situation. It was this time around. They told me, "Oh, what they were selling to me at 20 cedis is now 50 cedis."
Wow, that's 30 cedis more.
Exactly.
What changed?
I don't know. I said, "Okay, I will go somewhere else." I checked and checked and checked, didn't get anything. I moved on. But I may not be the only one going through this. People are beginning. Look, inflation. It's been on about a 15-month increase since last year, May, till now. We have increased policy rate upon policy rate, hoping to arrest inflation.
There's an MPC meeting starting today, so
I've seen IEA advising
that maintain the rate.
Look, the last time we spoke to Dr. Tony Edu right here, he said we are getting a few things wrong. Yes, the theory says that's what you do, but is our problem really a problem of demand or is it a problem of supply? So why are we doing this? Other countries are coming out with innovative ways in dealing with these challenges. Why are we always increasing? Today, what we seek to do, so today, you have banks calling people who have loans to say, because the policy rate is going up, we want to increase your loan, your interest payment. You can accept it like that, or you can, increase the tenor of the loan, extend the tenor of the loan. What are we doing to ourselves? Are these plans to cushion people, or they are plans to make people worse off?
Now I understand why you responded that way to how are you doing. They are trying to be fine.
Yes, I'm trying to be fine. I'm trying to be fine. But look, I think that I'd love to hear from, a lot of us this morning also on the conditions of the Ghanaian economy. I want them to tell us the rate of increase in the things that they buy. Are the prices going down, or they are still going up, despite all the efforts that we're putting in place? Daryl, let's get to the Joy Business Report. I'll come back. Okay, time now for the Joy Business Report with Daryl Acquah.
Hi, welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up, Institute of Economic Affairs warns any increase in the policy rate will be disastrous for the economy as the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana begins meeting over the economy today. Also, negotiations between Ghana and the International Monetary Fund for an economic program set to formally kick start next Monday as the IMF team arrives this weekend. Plus, General Agricultural Workers Union hints of abject poverty for Ghana by 2023. Due to unavailability of fertilizers and other farm inputs. Details coming up. My name is Daryl Acquah. Thanks for being with us this Tuesday morning. The depreciation of the cedi and the rising rate of inflation are set to dominate discussions as the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana begins meeting today over the economy. Joy Business understands that another marginal increase in the policy rate, which stands at 22%, might be under consideration. This is expected to compensate investors, particularly offshore investors whose returns have declined due to the rise in inflation. The MPC is also expected to review some business risk factors such as consumer and business confidence. Meantime, the Institute of Economic Affairs is projecting an unchanged policy rate of 22% as the MPC begins its meeting today. According to the economic think tank, the policy rate cannot solve the current rise in inflation, and therefore any increase in the central bank's lending rate will be disastrous for the economy. Charles Nexon has more.
In a statement, the IEA said it expects the Bank of Ghana to work closely with the government to adopt additional targeted measures to fight inflation. Inflation shot up to 33.9% in August, a rate the economic think tank said was driven by supply and cost factors, particularly food, fuel, and the exchange rate. This, it pointed out the inadequacy of the inflation targeting framework in dealing with these supply and cost drivers of inflation, especially at the primary level. To this end, it called for collaboration between the managers of the fiscal and monetary economies to target directly the underlying causes of the nation's inflation. It emphasized the recommended interventions which aim to boost supply and the introduction of subsidies. It cited the example of countries including major economies that depend on the inflation targeting framework resorting to intervention to deal with the supply factors largely driven by the Russia-Ukraine war.
And that was Charles Nixon-Yeboah. Next top story, official negotiations for Ghana's program with the International Monetary Fund is expected to start next Monday. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons with knowledge of current discussions between the fund and government. George Affe has more on the focus of the first mission engagement.
Sources say the Monday meeting starting will be dependent on the IMF mission coming to town this weekend from Washington, D.C., USA. The mission can be described as a full-blown team which will be led by its chief, Stefan Boudet, and some economists as well as other seasoned analysts and fund officials. This team is expected to be in Ghana for 2 weeks, engaging some very important stakeholders, including government. One area that will be of interest to the IMF will be government's proposal on how it intends to turn around the economy through its enhanced domestic program. The IMF would also be coming to their report after the economic data that they picked up from Ghana during their previous visit. We understand that based on the initial data gathered, Ghana's program negotiations might indeed be a tough one. The IMF would also be looking forward to proposals from government on how it intends to restructure its rising debt stock whilst they wait for the debt sustainability report being put together by the World Bank and the IMF. Managers of the economy are hoping to complete negotiations with the IMF for a program by the end of this year, but sources say that could be a tough one.
Judge Affe with that report. The Ghana Revenue Authority is cautioning businesses against evading tax, saying it will continue with this mystery shopping and unannounced visits to ensure the right taxes are paid to the state, following suspicions some businesses are shortchanging the state. Area Enforcement Manager GRA in charge of Acquah Central, Joseph Annan, told Joy Business an extensive audit will be conducted to ensure recalcitrant businesses are dealt with by the law.
We'll be sending our men out there to do the mystery shopping. We call it test purchase. It's the same. And you have to do the right thing because you don't know when you will be visited. And from now through to end of year or even beyond the year, we'll be everywhere and anywhere where business is being conducted, just to be sure that taxpayers are compliant voluntarily. The tax is the most important aspect of all that we do. So we will assess them for taxes that they should have collected and they failed to do so. We will take that from them. Like I said, there was the Section 58 of the VAT Act, which that's 870, 2013, which is they have to pay not more than 100 penalty units, or they go the imprisonment for not more than 6 months.
Joseph Annan is manager at the Ghana Revenue Authority in charge of Acquah Central. There is going to be abject poverty in Ghana by 2023. That's warning from the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Karwe. According to him, there is unavailability of fertilizer and other farm inputs like seeds based on investigations in some rural areas up north. He told Joy Business that if this development is not addressed immediately, it could spell doom for the country's food security.
I'm on the field. I am taking a tour of the 3 northern regions because I still consider them so. I have gone to the rural areas and I'm telling you that there's going to be abject poverty in 2023 because there is lack of inputs. No fertilizer. The 2 inputs he's talking about, that is seed and fertilizer. I've gone to the villages and I'm now in the Upper East region. I've finished with the northern region, not only in the cities, but in the rural areas. I am going to the rural areas and then from there to northern region and then to return to Accra. We are not also relying on figures. No, you go on the ground because people's lives are at stake. It has to do with lives. If you have 50,000 of your people who are starving, poverty or food, you must be concerned about that. And that is the reality on the ground.
General Secretary of GAWU, Edward Carraway there. The Ghana Cocoa Board says it has intensified its fight against the smuggling of subsidized fertilizer which are taken to Burkina Faso. The pledge comes after some leaders of cooperative groups connived with some Burkinabes to divert 50 trucks of fertilizers meant for cocoa farmers in Ghana. Speaking to journalists at the media launch of the 2022 Cocoa Day, Chief Executive of Cocoa Board Joseph Boahen-Edu warned that anybody caught smuggling fertilizer will be made to face the law.
These Burkinabes, they've been arrested. We've arrested some other group in Nkransa. We have arrested some around Waset Kropong. We've arrested some at Samnaboy. In fact, over the past, since July, arrest upon arrest. The latest is what has happened at Dodowa, here, very close to Accra, whereby this Burkinabe, has actually rented a warehouse, and then all they are doing is to remix our fertilizers and then reback, into Burkinabe bags so as to just escape, security.
That was Chief Executive of Cocoa Board Joseph Boahen-Edu. Now, as part of the Ghana Economic Transformation Project, Venture Capital Trust Fund has committed an amount of 25 million Ghana cedis to support small and medium-scale enterprises. According to Chief Executive of the fund, Amoah Owusu-Aboagye, his outfit is committed to supporting SMEs through several initiatives to expand the operations. He spoke to Joy Business at the signing of the Investment in Injaro Venture Capital Fund initiative.
We are looking to invest $40 million US dollars in about 10 fund managers, and these 10 fund managers, the beauty of investing through a fund manager is that they are not just going to use our 25 million. As I initially told you, Injaro is raising 120, so they are going to use our money to leverage on that to raise a big capital, so the funds become much bigger. There are other ones that are raising 60, 80, and we are investing equal about 20, between 20 to 30 million, or if you go back into dollars, between $3 million to $5 million. Once we are there, it encourages other investors to invest in the fund. That is the beauty of what venture capital does. So in all, we are looking at a minimum of 10 fund managers that we will invest in them.
You heard Amoah Owusu-Aboagye, who is Chief Executive of the Venture Capital Trust Fund. Let's check the markets for you. Beginning with the currency market, the dollar going for 10 cedis 33 pesos, the euro selling at 10 cedis 30 pesos, and the pound trading at 11 cedis 85 pesos. On the commodity market, crude oil selling at $92 a barrel. Gold lost more than $3 to open, trading at $1,672 an ounce. Cocoa went up by $9, trading this morning at $2,369 a ton. There is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Acquah.